I have tried to make this video 4 times. This is my 4th attempt. And I just want to share from my heart things that I have been taught and things that have changed me. Things that have changed life for me. Today I was reading in Matthew. I was reading in chapter 8 around verse 4. Understand that this is after the Sermon on the Mount. This is after Yeshua has taught the essence of the law. You know, Moses' law says, don't commit adultery. And the essence of the law is that even if you've looked at a lady with lust in your heart, you've already committed adultery. Okay, so Christ he's teaching the essence of the law because he is the law. Matthew 8, he heals a man of leprosy. He tells the man, don't tell anybody what's happened, but go before the priest and show yourself. And then make the necessary sacrifices. So Christ is teaching the law, expressing the essence of the law, and telling people to keep it. Wow. What has changed? What has changed? Why? How did we get to a part? How did we get to a part where we say, "Oh, I'm saved by grace, and the law is no longer necessary for me"? That I don't have to keep the law. That's being a legalist. How did we get there? How did I get there? How was it that for so many years in my walk with Christ that I was there? Like, I ain't got to keep the law. That's Old Testament stuff. That don't relate to me. I'm New Testament. Oh, I had it so wrong. I had it so wrong. And that woman from John chapter 8 who was caught in adultery, how I love that story. I love that she could be butt naked, caught in sin, thrown out in front of this crowd of people for them to look at her and make judgments on her. And he says to them, let the first one of y'all without sin cast the stone. I love that story. Oh, but you know what? The revelation this morning was not that he just excuses everything, but that even in that story, he was simply keeping the law. It was a Sabbath. I used to think, it says that he wrote in the sand. He wrote in the dust. He wrote in the earth. Oh, the beauty of that. He wrote in the earth. And I used to think, you know what? He's going around in each pair of footprints, each of them dirty little toes, he's writing, well, you did this and you did this. So he's taking those laws and he's writing a law for every individual person there that had broken, a law that they had broken. Because God knows us so intimately. Christ knew every one of them. He didn't know just the number of hairs that they had on the head, but he knew the individual numbers of hairs. He knows what number this hair is in my head. That's how intimately he knows us. So he's just writing what they did wrong, right? He's putting them in their place. I love me some Jesus. Today's revelation. I want to think that he stood before that crowd with this woman in all of her shame. And he wrote the law according to the Sabbath. See, they brought him to her during the festival of tabernacles, during Sukkot. And that's a holiday. Not a holiday. It's a feast. And we are commanded to keep the Sabbaths, plural. We're commanded to keep these Sabbaths. So I'm just wondering if it wasn't that he didn't write their individual sins like old Heather would like to think, but that the new Heather, the Heather that understands the beauty of the law, understands the blessings that come from keeping it, if he didn't just remind them of the law of that day, that they should have never accused her in the first place. Where are the two witnesses that should have accompanied her? Every portion of Christ's life, we see him not only fulfilling the law and being the law, but keeping the law. And if it was so important to him, how has it that it's become so less important to us? I encourage you today. I encourage you to ask him to teach you the essence of the law. And that you too will fall in love with it and actually enjoy the keeping of it in communion with him.